Master your emotions, the Stoic Guide to Emotional Control Stoicism. Let me kill a myth right now. The Stoics were not cold. They were not empty men in marble, staring past their own feelings, pretending nothing touched them. They felt everything. Grief split them open. Anger flared in their chests. Fear tightened their stomachs before battle, before speeches, before loss. The Stoics simply refused to be ruled by any of it. That is the whole art. Not the absence of emotion, but the refusal to hand your emotions the steering wheel. So if you have ever been told that Stoicism means becoming numb, forget it. What you are about to learn is not how to feel less. It is how to feel fully and still stay free. Here is the model the Stoics actually used, and it is stunningly modern. They noticed that emotion arrives in two stages. The first stage is automatic. Someone cuts you off in traffic and your body reacts before you can even think. The flinch. The flash of heat. The jolt in your chest when your phone buzzes with bad news. The Stoics called these the first movements, and they said something that should take a weight off your shoulders. You are not responsible for the first movement. It is reflex. It is weather passing through the body. You did not choose it, and it does not make you weak. Responsibility begins at the second stage. Because after the first movement comes a choice, and the choice is so fast you usually miss it. The impulse says, this is an outrage, this is unbearable, this ruins everything. And you get to decide whether to agree. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. Assent means endorsement. It means signing your name to the story your reaction is telling you. The flash of anger is not the problem. The problem is the split second where you say yes, you are right, let us burn something down. Master that split second and you master the emotion. That is where all the real work lies. Let me give you the steps. The first step. Name the emotion to tame it. This sounds too simple to matter, but it is the doorway to everything else. When feeling floods in, most people become the feeling. I am furious. I am terrified. There is no gap between you and it. So instead, narrate it like an observer. Say to yourself, this is anger. This is anxiety rising before the deadline. This is jealousy, and it is loud right now. The moment you name it, you have quietly stepped back from it. You are no longer inside the wave. You are on the shore watching the wave. The Stoics practiced this constant self-observation. Marcus Aurelius wrote his private journal precisely to catch his own mind in the act. Naming does not make the emotion vanish. It makes you bigger than the emotion, and that is enough to begin. The second step. Find the judgment underneath. This is the beating heart of Stoic psychology, and it comes straight from Epictetus. He taught that it is not things that disturb us, but our opinions about things. Sit with that. The traffic did not enrage you. Your judgment that this should not be happening to me enraged you. The deadline does not create anxiety. Your belief that failing means you are worthless creates it. Underneath every strong emotion is a hidden opinion, a verdict your mind passed without asking permission. So go hunting for it. When you feel the surge, ask, what am I telling myself right now? What must I believe for this feeling to make sense? Drag the judgment into the light. Because once you can see the opinion, you can question it. And an opinion you can question no longer owns you. The third step. Insert the pause. Between the first movement and your assent, there is a gap, and the whole game is to widen it. The angry email you did not send. The cruel sentence you swallowed before it left your mouth. Those are victories won in the pause. Practically, this means buying time before you react. Breathe out slowly. Count to 10, not as a cliché, but as a deliberate act of reclaiming the second stage. Feel your feet on the floor. Seneca advised that the best remedy for anger is delay, because rage always promises that it will feel this urgent forever, and it always lies. Give the first movement a few seconds and it starts to lose its grip. The pause is not passivity. It is you refusing to be dragged. It is the doorway between reaction and response, and you are the one who decides to walk through it slowly. The fourth step. Question the story. Now that you have paused, examine the tale your emotion is selling you. Emotions are dramatists. Jealousy whispers that your friend's success means your failure, as if there were a fixed amount of good in the world and they just stole your share. Anxiety before the deadline screams that catastrophe is certain, that everyone will see you fail. Anger insists that the other driver did it on purpose, to disrespect you personally. Hold each story up to the light and ask, is this actually true? Is this the only interpretation? The tired stranger in traffic is not your enemy. Your colleague's win costs you nothing real. The Stoics train themselves to strip events down to plain facts, free of the panicked commentary. A thing happened. That is all you truly know. The rest is a story, and stories can be rewritten. The fifth step. Choose the response. This is where mastery becomes visible. You have named the feeling, found the judgment, paused, and questioned the story. Now you act on purpose. Ask the Stoic question, what is actually in my control here? Not the traffic, not the outcome, not another person's choices. Only your next move belongs to you. So choose it deliberately, in line with the person you want to be. Grief is a powerful example. The Stoics never said do not grieve. Losing someone you love is not a failure of philosophy, it is the price of having loved. What they said was, do not let grief collapse you into helplessness. Feel it fully, and still get up, still care for the people who remain, still do the next right thing. The emotion is real. Your response is chosen. Both can be true. The sixth step. Act, then let the feeling pass like weather. Here is what people miss. Once you have chosen your response, you do not have to fix the emotion. You do not have to argue it into silence or wait for it to fully disappear before you move. Feelings are weather. They roll in, they rain, and if you stop feeding them, they roll out. Anger that you do not rehearse fades. Anxiety that you do not replay loses its charge. Your job is to act rightly while the storm passes overhead, not to make the sky clear first. So take the action, and let the residue of feeling drift off on its own schedule. You are not the weather. You are the sky it moves through, wide enough to hold any storm and still remain. The seventh step. Review without shame. At the end of the day, look back honestly. Where did you lose the pause? Where did anger win, where did fear steer? The Stoics practiced this nightly review not to punish themselves, but to learn. Seneca described putting his whole day on trial, gently, like a fair judge. Notice the difference. Shame says, I am a failure, and shame is just another judgment to question. Review says, that is interesting, next time I will pause longer. You are training, not confessing. Every missed moment is data. Every honest look makes the next pause a little wider. This is a practice, not a performance, and no one masters it in a week. You are building a skill across a lifetime, one evening at a time. So understand what you are really after here. Emotional mastery is not becoming a stone. It is not the flat, dead calm of someone who has stopped caring. It is the opposite. It is feeling the full force of being alive, the anger and the grief and the fierce love, and remaining the author of what you do next. The numb person is not free. They have just traded one prison for a quieter one. You want the harder, better thing. To be moved and not swept away. To feel the storm hit and still hold the wheel. That is not coldness. That is the deepest kind of freedom there is, and it is available to you the moment you remember that the feeling is never the master. You are.